All right, this I'm showing you this file here uh, because it's got a lot of interior walls in it and some exterior walls and a concrete wall. So if we click on the concrete, and it's a foundation type wall, or it's a basic wall foundation. So if we go edit type and look at our structure, it's just one layer inside the core of concrete. Okay, and material is concrete, cast in place concrete, thickness of 1 feet. Very simple wall there, okay? And if I look at an interior partition, and if we look at the structure of it, it's just the core structure layer of metal studs and then drywall gypsum board on interior on both sides. And so you notice they're both called finish 2, okay, because it's an interior wall. So we'll do a preview of it here. And it's rather difficult to see, at least it is on my screen for my eyes, but there is a green line that shows the boundary of the core. And it's kind of difficult for me to see it. You may be able to see it a little easier, but it is there, okay? All right, now, how do things join? So if I switch over to a fine detail and I zoom in on a wall intersection here, and let me make it shaded just to help you out there. All right, well, that wasn't what I expected, but here's the interior wall that we just looked at. It's got metal studs and then gypsum board on both sides. This wall is a 2-hour fire partition wall, which means it's got 2 layers of gypsum board on each side. And so if I look at my structure, I can see I have 2 layers of, finished 2 gypsum board 5/8 of an inch on both sides. What that means is the way this joins is that the stud layer joins first. Then if we had a sheathing layer, like on exterior walls, that would join next, the substrate. And then thermal, air, that kind of stuff. And then finishes are last. So the finishes join together here. And let me go back and look at the structure here. I'm just curious as to why they have different colors. That was the only thing I was wondering about. Anyway, but that's how that stuff about the joins. And the deal with the joining is they have to be the same materials. Like you have to have gypboard here, and they will join together. If you had gypboard on one and, I don't know, wood paneling on the other, they would not join. There would be a distinct line there where they trimmed out at. Okay. Oh, let's look at this corner here. So you can see how the materials not wrap, okay, as in the settings in the system family. This is not a wrap. This is just the way that the wall corner joins. The gypboard joins on the inside, the stud layers, the substrate, and then the exterior siding. Okay, and I think that covered all of those things. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to wall profiles. And nope, I'm going to close that. So open you up a template. Okay, a new file from the architectural template. Let's see, what have I got? Oh, that comes later. Okay. And for right now, draw you just a brick wall. Doesn't matter how long, about, I don't know, 20 feet or so. And this is exterior brick on metal stud. So draw that, and then let's go to a, let's go to our 3D view. Okay. Now, once we're in our 3D view, we want to we're going to draw another wall under it. And so let's go wall, and let's choose the foundation, 12-inch concrete. And because this is our, south-facing wall, I'm going to start it. Oh, before I start it, I want to make sure here we're at level 1. It's a foundation wall, so it should be going down, so depth, and 12 feet is fine. We'll change the location line to core face exterior. Well, we'll go finish face exterior. It only has one layer to it anyway, concrete. We're not going to make any more changes there. And then go to the lower right corner and get a snap and click there. And then go to the lower left corner and get a snap and then click there to end the wall. Okay, and so that's what you should have. And we did it with, that wasn't what I wanted. Okay, so we lined it up so that the exterior faces were flush. That's what we did. We're going to change that location line. All right. Okay. All right. So one of the things we use the edit profile for, you may have seen what's known as a stepped footing, or maybe on the side, one side of your house, if you have a basement, the ground, slopes down, and the siding for the first floor kind of steps and follows the slope of the land. So you don't have concrete wall going all the way up to first floor level all the way around, because concrete's very expensive. So you step the concrete to match the profile of the ground. Well, you adjust your first floor wall to match that concrete foundation wall. So there's a couple of different ways to do things here. So one, what we're going to do is we're going to split this wall into two pieces. And so I can select the wall and come up here to my split tool and go split element. And I just want to come over about 4 feet or so, 5, 6 feet, whatever. And I'll click it and makes that split. And then you go back and you select it and you see now we have two different pieces of wall. They're the same material, so when it's not selected, you don't see any difference, but when you hover over one and you select it, there it is. Okay. So here, now we can adjust the height of this wall. We can just grab the handle up here. I said I could grab the handle, but that dimension is right there with it. Let me rotate just a little bit. There we go. And so unless the top of and the bottom of the wall has been locked, or the wall is pinned, you can adjust the height of these up and down. And you can see over here the top constraint has a negative offset coming down. So we could type in if we wanted it there. But in this particular case, let's take it up. And yes, we're going to get a warning that there's a conflict, okay? And we're just going to escape out of that because we're going to fix that. So let's select that wall and make our top offset at 2 feet. Okay, and so that's one way to adjust, we can create the splits to adjust the height and the steps of the walls. It gets a little complicated. The other way is to adjust the profile of the wall. And so select the right end of it. And up here in the Modify Walls area, we'll go Edit Profile. And that brings us into a sketch mode. And if you look here, you got the purple lines. There's one right here, so let's select that purple line and let's just delete it. Okay, and then we're going to draw some lines here. So I'll go here and go line. And I'll start at that snap. Come over, come down, go over, down. Okay. And then I'll use my trim to trim that out. Okay, and now I can click my green check mark and it steps that wall. Okay, and so now how do we get the brick to adjust to all of that? Well, pretty simple. Oh, well, before I go any further, you can adjust these. So if you see here, I clicked on that wall, and since I didn't put any dimensions, I can adjust the length of these steps. Okay, now I can't adjust the height of the steps here. I'd have to go back in and edit the profile again in order to do that. All right, so now how do we get our brick to match all this stuff? So we select our brick wall. And we go Attach Top Base. Okay, so I select that tool, and I want to change over here, and I want to change to Base. And then I click this wall segment here that I created. And you see it put a little step up in the brick to join them. Okay, and so let's do that again over on the right side. Attach top base, and then select the stepped wall here. All right, and so now we've got our brick following the size of the concrete. Well, what about our concrete? We don't know what size. We just kind of drew some lines. We don't have any sizes. So let's go back to Edit Profile. And now if I click on the lines, I get dimensions. Okay, for the heights of these things. I don't have any dimensions on the lengths, but even in sketch mode, I can apply dimensions. I can do it here with a line dimension, and we'll just go from that sketch over to here, to there, to there, to there. Okay. And, you know, I could make them all, well, don't want to do equals. I think I can come in here and change these. Oh, no. There we go. 4 feet. Got to select the line and then the dimension. Okay, and now then the heights. I don't know. We'll go with 4 feet again on that one. Okay, so you see what we're doing here. So you can adjust that's where you would put in your sizes if you're editing profile constraints. Okay, so something I did, it didn't like it. Maybe because of the way I moved things around. It didn't like the height dimension. Anyway, so, okay. So there's how we would create a stepped wall, not a stacked wall, but a stepped wall of two different material types there. All right, so next, we're at 15 minutes. I'll pause this one. Let me check my notes. Now let's go ahead and do openings. So wall openings, so in this same little thingy here, there's several different ways to do openings. One is with the opening tool. And so we go here, wall opening, and then we select a wall, and then we sketch a rectangular opening. Okay, so that was just with the opening tool. If we select it and go here, we can change the height and the base of it, and this is based up on level 1. We can edit the size of it here with handles to move it and pull it. We could apply dimensions to it, those kinds of things. We go to an elevation. Let's see what that do for us. Okay, so in our elevation view, we can get the distance from edges of the wall, but no heights on the actual opening itself. Same thing there. Okay, so that's one way to do it. The other way is to load a component. The problem with this one is that it's not a component, it's not a family, it's just a hole in the wall. So it will not produce any data for a schedule. So if we want something, that will produce data for a schedule, we need to load it into our family. So we go Insert, Load Family, and we scroll down to Openings, and then we want a passage. And so in this case, we're going to go with an elliptical arch. All right, so now it's loaded, and so now we'll go Component, and there it is there, and there's various sizes here, okay. And then we place it in the wall. Okay, and so there it is. We can change the elevation of it here. We could, move it around if we wanted to. All right, so I'm going to move it over some. The third way to create an opening is to edit the profile of the wall again. So we'll go Edit Profile. Maybe I shouldn't have done it in this one. Okay, let's see how it happens. And here, we just sketch an opening into the wall. And it can be whatever shape you want, okay? Okay, now this one will not provide data for a schedule because it's just a hole in the wall. But once we've got these done, we can move things around. These two, there we go. And so I can move it, and if I move it over into another one, they just morph together, okay? All right, but with this one, I cannot move it because it's part of the profile sketch. So you have to edit profile to get back to that. All right, so let's, while we're here, let's look at how wraps work with inserts, okay? So I'm going to select the wall and go back in and edit that and turn on exterior wraps at inserts. And it didn't do anything. Weird. Maybe. Huh? I don't know why it didn't do that. Must be something going on. Or maybe it's just the color. Let me go to level 2 here and look. No, it didn't do any wrapping. That was weird. I thought it would have done that. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Let me pause this video and then we'll come back and do wall sweeps and wall reveals.